How long am I supposed to speak?
Long.
I'm a real alcoholic named Frederick. But for the grace of God, the fellowship of people in rooms just like this, the 12 steps and 12 traditions that you heard read, I haven't found it necessary to take a drink or a mood-altering chemical since March the 27th, 1982. The old timers used to tell me you pause so everybody can do the math. And when I go to speaker meetings, I do the same thing. Sit down, yeah. You know. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had two main problems in my life. Two. First of all, I have a disease called retinitis pigmentosa. The moment I was born, my eyesight started decreasing. At one time, I could read and write and do all that good stuff and everything, but here lately, it's really gone downhill. So I've learned how to adjust to that. Now, my second problem I had in my life was John Barleycorn, alcohol. Now, before I get into that, I grew up in what I'm going to call a normal family. I have one brother and three sisters. There was no chewing, no smoking, no doping, no nothing in my house. I was one of those people that had to be in the house when the street lights came on. My parents, if there was someone that was drinking, as I didn't realize this till I got into this outfit, they shielded us away from them. Now, both my parents were single children, so I have no aunts and uncles that I would have loved to have had that nipped a little bit because I thought it was right cute. But at any rate, none of my siblings seem to have a problem with alcohol. I'm the only one out of the bunch. So I just told them somebody had to do it. I took my first drink when I was a sophomore in high school. I had a piano in my house, and I learned how to play piano by ear. And got a little combo, a band together. And we played at a fraternity in Raleigh at State College one night. Now, my piano sat about that high. Anyway, they put a cup on there. And I kept sipping on this cup. Now, I'm not used to alcohol by no shape, form, or fashion. But it felt warm. It felt good. And I kept sipping on the cup. When it got half empty, some fool would come back and fill it back up. So here I am playing this piano. Everything started sounding good and everything. And by the end of the night, I was Ray Charles. Went off to college in Virginia. Had a roommate up there, Houston, South Carolina. And they had some stuff up there called no proof. That's equivalent to what we have in North Carolina, Everclear. And he and I could buy a pint on Friday and still have some on Sunday. Life was good. I got a job offer out in Van Nuys, California. Now, I'm a young man at this time and still not familiar with alcohol that much. And out there, at that time, see, I don't know how many of y'all know that when society drank liquor, they drank it in spells. Now, in California at that time, the main thing they drank was tequila. And I learned how to suck the lemon and shake the salt and all that kind of stuff. So I came back from California and supposed to go on back to college. Now, those of y'all that may not know this, the people of my generation had a saying, I got to go find myself. The flower children were out, and Twiggy with a miniskirt came out and all this stuff. Anyway, I ended up in a place called Hackensack, New Jersey. Is there anybody here from New Jersey? You are? Stay here. I'll tell everybody that. I'll tell you. So I go to New Jersey and end up there, and I'm selling shoes and so forth, women's shoes only now. Okay? And Twiggy came out of her miniskirt in about 1968, 69. I sold those white go-go boots. Now, half of y'all in here probably don't even know what I'm talking about. They sold the miniskirts. The girls wore the white go-go boots, and they went to these clubs, and they danced them behind cages, more or less. Well, everybody that put on the miniskirt and the go-go boots were not dancers. And I had some interesting, very interesting awakenings in selling these go-go boots and this miniskirt. Anyway, life went on. Now, the type of liquor I started to learn how to drink was called traveling liquor. If I was in Jersey, I wanted to be in New York. If I was in New York, I wanted to be in Baltimore. And I did these things, not realizing that alcohol was becoming a part of my daily existence. I got promoted in this outfit, the shoe company I was working for, and had the whole territory of New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. Now, I'm making pretty good money, and everything is fine back then. But disco came out in New York in 1970. And I love to dance, you know. So here I am, I'm in disco and everything, and life is good, and I got my own place and everything. I'm still living in Hackensack, though. And Hackensack started getting too small, so I had to go to the Big Apple. Do-I-diddy, here's Freddie from New York City. You understand where I'm coming from? At any rate, I did a lot of crazy, insane things, drinking liquor and so forth, and I ended up in a place one time called New Orleans, Louisiana. And I met one of the prettiest little things you ever seen in your life. Later on, I brought her to New York. I married her too. She wasn't used to discoing and all that stuff, you know, and staying out. And I'm still young, and I'm hanging out with the so-called in crowd and everything. And this went on for quite a while, and she didn't drink. She did not drink. Now, she could take a beer at 6 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock that night, she's still sipping on it. I don't think that's any way to drink it. But anyway, to make a long story short, moving right along here, she got tired of me hanging out. And I told her one thing, and you men pay attention here. Don't ever tell a female, if you don't like it, you can leave. Okay? Well, this went on for a little while, and every time I got mad, you don't like it, you can leave, and so since you ain't leaving, I'm going to leave. Well, one night I came home, and guess what? She was gone. I tried to find her and everything and try to make amends, and I didn't even know what amends were until I got into this outfit. But anyway, I drank myself out of that lucrative job. I drank myself out of New York City. I drank myself out of New Jersey. Things were getting real bad. Now, as the big book says, I decided to have a geographical cure. So I came back to Raleigh. Now in Raleigh, I met some people that loved how to drink. And I fell in with them. I had a little money and everything, and during that time, I want y'all to visualize this. Here I am, about half blind. I got on a pair of 3-inch platform shoes. And I'm wearing my little zoot suits and all that stuff, what's fashionable then. Had all kind of jewelry around my neck and on my fingers and all that kind of foolishness. Till I met another young lady. We men think you women can fix us. I don't know what y'all can do. But at any rate, I met this young lady and we got together and everything and got an apartment together, bought a car together and so forth and so on. And one morning she woke up and said, "You need to find a job." My money was about running out then, so I said, okay. And I did find a job out in Knightdale, North Carolina, at Square D. And they needed me out there because I was black and I was handicapped and I was one other thing. And I don't remember what that was, but anyway. They gave me a job out there and I worked out there day and night and all kinds of different shifts and everything. Met some people from Johnson County.
No.
Oh, yeah. You know where I'm coming from, don't you? They have a reputation. Those of y'all that's not familiar with that, Johnson County used to be the alcoholic capital of North Carolina. Corn liquor. Okay. Anyway, I met some good old boys and girls from down there, and we worked at Square D and everything. And moving right along now, because I'm going to move this up. I'm having fun. I'm drinking liquor. Girlfriend's over to the crib. We getting along just fine and everything. Until my father comes over to the crib one day, and he says, "You got a phone call." I said, "From who?" He says, "You remember that wife you left in New York?" What? Okay. So I asked the good old boys from Johnson County what they think I should do. They said, "Go see her." So they carried me out to the airport and everything. I caught a plane, flew up to New York, talked to her that weekend, didn't tell the girlfriend I was going out of town or nothing. And had a nice time, came on back. Girlfriend mad as two wet hens. Well, she had a right to be, because she couldn't find me, you see. And of course, when you start lying, you got to keep it going. And you better remember the lie that you're telling. And don't name any names who you were with, because that might backfire on you. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, I was with Freddie. I had to carry Freddie home." No, you didn't. So at any rate, this went on for about 4 more months, and I decided to go back to New York. And this time when I came back, I brought her with me. And I put the wife over there in my parents' house, and the girlfriend's over there in our house, and I have no clue where I'm going to stay. So by this time, any of y'all that know about it, they had a whole bunch of what we call liquor houses. You could go to any town and find a liquor house in the state of North Carolina. So at any rate, I went to these liquor houses, and the good old boys and girls sitting up there drinking liquor, you know, and slobbing all over each other and lying to each other and all that kind of good stuff. But now the big book tells me that alcoholics are not stupid people. We do stupid things, but we're not stupid. So I said, "What should I do?" They said, "Well, what you need to do is go over there and put the girlfriend out that y'all been together all them years, and then you need to get the wife and move her right over in there, and that way you can save yourself a whole bunch of money." That's what I did. I guess my wife and I stayed together. My alcoholism had picked up then. I'm not ready for that morning drink yet, but I'm getting close to it, to cross that invisible line. At any rate, something went wrong and yada yada, so the wife left again. And that's the second time she been gone, and I was through with her right then. So now I think I can live the life of Raleigh, and the girlfriend's gone, the wife is gone, so I can party back on my own. Didn't quite work out like that. Because now, I'm not paying everybody. And if you don't pay your rent, they do put you out. And I moved several times under those conditions. So I'm at the liquor house one night talking to everybody, and everybody talking to me, and I say, what should I do? And they say, Fred, since you don't see so well, of course they didn't say it quite as nice as that. They say, you need to go downtown to the Department of Human Resources, State Commission for the Blind. I thought about it for a while, and that's what I did. And I got myself together, went down to the office where I needed to go and so forth, and met this lady, and she said, yeah, we've been looking for you. And I said, what do you mean you've been looking for me? She said, you kind of fill out what we're looking for. I said, okay, here we go again. So we sat down, filled out paperwork and all that kind of stuff. She said, can you start tomorrow? I said, oh, no. I'll see you next Monday. I got some drinking to do. I didn't tell her that, but I got to working for the state, started at the bottom. I was working my way on up top, and every job I ever had, I started at the bottom, worked my way up. At any rate, y'all can figure this out for yourself. They put me in charge of some money. Up goes the bottle, down goes the man. At any rate, I got a telephone call from a friend of mine named Chico. He came out of Chicago. Now, this was on a Friday. So they told us I was supposed to turn in some money that Friday to the bank. And then I got paid that Friday. And I when I got drunk, I wanted everybody to get drunk right along with me. I spent a lot of money getting other people drunk. But I was enjoying myself. Well, at any rate, I had the state's money in one pocket, my money in another pocket, went to the liquor store, got 2 half-gallons of liquor, and went over to my friend Chico. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's so hard to get in trouble. I mean, so easy to get in trouble, but it's very hard to get out of trouble. Now, here's the problem. Chico had an attaché case full of counterfeit $20 bills. He has already laid out some in Raleigh. They were on his trail because they want to know where the money was coming from. Well, unbeknown to me, they had that little white van sitting outside of his place with the little camera in there. Guess who was on camera? It snowed that Sunday in Raleigh. It snowed real bad. The governor even came on TV at that time and said, don't y'all hurt yourselves trying to get back and forth to work and everything. He said, help your neighbor and try to get in as soon as you can. I took the whole week off. That Monday when I went back to my office, it was padlocked. Had a sign on the front, don't open this door. Come on down to the main office on Baldwin Avenue, and that's where I went. Now in this office, there was a Treasury agent, a U.S. Marshal, FBI, State SBI, 3 of Raleigh's finest, and 3 of my supervisors. Now, I've been drinking all week, so I ain't ready for no mess, you see. And I had nerve enough to fall up in there and say, somebody's in trouble, ain't it? This is all documented. They said, yeah, you go home and we'll get in contact with you. After they explained to me what they thought I was taking the state's good money, giving it to Chico for the counterfeit money, and then putting that in the state treasury. They kind of frowned on that, but none of that ever happened. Because I still didn't know until they presented that situation to me. Well, of course I lost my job. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 4 years is unlike anything I ever experienced in my life. Sleeping in stairwells, sleeping in abandoned cars, sleeping under people's houses, not knowing where my next meal's coming from. It was sad. Some of the same people I used to drink with didn't even want me around. I didn't know what to do. So I thought about it this way. If I go to jail, I have a roof over my head. They'll give me a little cot to sleep on or a pad, and they'll give me a little something to eat. Was better than what I was doing to myself on a daily basis. I hope I never have to experience that again. So me and my brilliant mind, I called the SBI and told them to come and get me. Dumb. They carried me down there and they fingerprinted me and everything and yada, 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 and had to take a lie detector test and all that kind of stuff. And see, now, no one told me to stop drinking. So I kept on drinking until I had to go to court. They gave me a court-appointed lawyer, and here's what he told me. He said, I'm going to call you 2 days in advance for us to go to court because I don't want you coming up here smelling and looking like a drunk. Man, you know what you can do. So I did what they told me, and they gave me probation, and I had to pay restitution back to the state. But here's here's how I got into the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm sitting there one Sunday with absolutely nothing to do. Now, like I said, we are not stupid. We do stupid things. I called my female probation officer and asked her, did she want to go to the movies? Only drunks can do things like that. You know, normal people wouldn't do that. So at any rate, I was ushered downtown in one of them brown cars with a bubblegum machine on top. Carried me to her office. She had these big leather chairs laid back up in there and told me to sit down. And once again, I've been drinking all week now. I ain't ready for no foolishness. She asked me one of the dumbest questions you can ask an alcoholic. Do you have a problem with alcohol? Who, me? Are you kidding? The only problem I have with alcohol is when I can't get none. She said, are you trying to be smart with me? I said, you were the one that asked the question. She said, if you keep on with that attitude, I will pick up this phone and you won't even leave this building. Whoa, you got my attention now. She said, you need to do something about your drinking. How many of y'all had somebody to tell you that? What are you supposed to do? Stop drinking hard liquor and drink soft liquor. Stop drinking white liquor and start drinking brown liquor. Don't drink no liquor at all, just drink beer. The mind just races. And I wasn't a beer drinker to start with. At any rate, she said, there are 3 places you can go. I said, excuse me? She said, you can go to Dorothea Dix. At that time, they did have an alcoholic ward. And I said, there is no way I can go there. Because I'm, relating to being crazy. So I couldn't go there. She said, then there's a group of, she said there's a place called ATC. It was a good outfit when it was running in Wake County. Alcoholism Treatment Center. She said, I asked her a question. I said, do they lock doors there? She said, I believe they do. I said, I can't go there. So she said, then there is AA. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have drank for years. To my knowledge, no one said I need to go to AA. So I said, what is AA? She said it's called Alcoholics Anonymous. It's a group of men and women who sit around at meetings at night talking about not drinking one day at a time. Now, why would I want to go there? That wasn't my plan to quit. But at any rate, she told me what a meeting was and I better show up. Well, I'm going to my first AA meeting. I don't have a clue to what goes on up in here. So I managed to get enough money together, bought me a pint of Smirnoff 100. I sipped on that all day. Went in my closet, picked out a 3-piece suit, put on them platform shoes. I'm going to my first AA meeting. But I need a little kicker to go with this 100 proof, so I went by the corner store and got me a 16-ounce bull. Now I'm going to my first AA meeting. Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know what it stands for, but I'm going. However, they didn't tell me it was in the basement. 12 steps down. I made the first 3. I fell into my first AA meeting. Them shoes went to flying. I went to rolling down them steps and fell out on the concrete floor. Jesse Dan was sitting there. He said, y'all go get that boy before he kill himself. And so they brushed me off and came there. You feel all right? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm hurting like crazy. Are you an alcoholic? I don't know. And I didn't. He said, you got a problem with alcohol? I said, sometimes. Jesse made me sit right beside him. I wanted to talk. Y'all got newcomers come to your groups and they just want to run their mouth. I went to about 3-4 meetings like that. No one told me to stop drinking until about that 4th meeting. A little guy named Cass Spencer, he's passed on. A little short fella. Drove a pink station wagon. So at the end of the meeting, he carried me outside. He said, Fred, the next time you come to a meeting, try not to drink nothing that day. Well, I told him where he could go, his mama, and what he could do with that pink station wagon and everything. He carried me home, though. This was in 81. November of 81. Now, I got a birthday in November. November 17th. I can't stop yet. I got to celebrate my birthday. After then comes Thanksgiving. Can't stop, yeah. Cause I got to make it through Thanksgiving. Now let me tell y'all something. Christmas is coming. People that don't even like you will give you a drink around Christmas time. Think about it. January the 1st is coming. Can't stop now. March the 27th, 1982, I arrived in the halls of the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Jesse D was sitting in there. He said, "You ready this time, ain't you, boy?" He said, "We've been saving this seat for you." Well, you didn't know I was coming back. He said, "If you didn't die, we kind of figured you would." So I still want to run my mouth. I'm not drinking anything, hadn't had anything since I left the treatment center. He said, "Look here. Now, we didn't ask you to come in here." He said, "If you want what we have, do as we do." Now, I didn't know if I wanted what y'all had because I didn't know what it was. I'm still watching these styrofoam coffee cups. And I got a good sense of smell. And I don't smell no liquor. So Jesse said, "You don't see too well, can you? Do you?" I said, "No." He said, "The meeting starts here at 8 o'clock. I want you at the meeting at 1:45. Why? I don't want you stumbling and bumping into people, wasting coffee, messing up my floor down here and everything." I said, "Okay." And since then, I get to my meetings early. I love the meeting before the meeting. You want to find out about yourself? Get to the meeting early so they can talk about you. I mean that thing. And then you might learn a little bit about AA along the way. They told me they have never seen anyone come to an AA meeting by mistake. Okay. They told me I didn't know the difference between a red apple and a brown worm. Okay. Now, I'm not liking y'all too well because y'all talking to me in the wrong frame of mind. This isn't what I come down here for y'all to pick on me. They told me if I had a problem in my relationship, I need to go to family counseling. They said if I have a problem in that courthouse, I need to go find me a lawyer. And if I have problems trying to find a job, I need to go to job service. Now, the only thing we're going to talk about in this room and the rooms that we're going to send you to is not drinking one day at a time and staying stopped. Okay. The first year I was in this program, I got a divorce. I owed Uncle Sam $10,464. And I get to the meeting before the meeting. I said, "Jesse, what should I do?" I said, "Uncle Sam wants his money. What should I do?" You know what he said? "Pay him." That's all he said. Pay him. I got them divorce papers in my hand and said, "Jesse, I won't be here next week." He said, "Where you going?" I said, "I got to go down here and talk to this woman." He said, "What does that paper say?" It says you are no longer married to this woman. You ain't got no business going down there. I didn't. He said, "It's going to take me a year to understand why I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. And he was just about right. Because I would come in and take everybody's inventory I could. Didn't nobody know what I was thinking, but I was taking your inventory. And then when I heard people had been sober for 10 or 12 or 20 years, you know, I automatically knew that wasn't right. I know they done had a little ship somewhere along the way. About 9 months in this outfit, I said it one night, my name is Freddie and I'm an alcoholic, and looked like something lifted off of my shoulders. I began to relax inside because now I have made myself a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, they didn't force nothing on me. They let me grow at my own pace. So they sent me to Raleigh Big Book, which was over in Cameron Village area. Dave C. started that outfit over there. And they said, I want you to go over there because they was reading the steps. And they told me to keep my mouth shut because I didn't have anything they wanted. And they're going to read the steps, and when they go through steps, all the steps, then I want you to come back. That was a meeting every Tuesday night. And I did that. I was afraid not to. I said, well, how are you going to know that I'm at the meeting? He said, haven't you heard? I said, heard what? We got a thing called the AA police. He said, they don't wear uniforms. They just like ordinary people. You're not going to recognize them. And since you don't see too well, you wouldn't recognize them anyway. I said, okay. And I went over there and did like they told me. And I came back to my home group then, called a fellowship group at that time. And now Jesse said, you ready now, aren't you? I said, ready for what? We commenced to getting into the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and its recovery program. And we went through that book. We went through the steps. See, what they wanted me to do was get familiar with the steps before I tried to jump in there and say, oh yeah, I got this. And I'm glad they did it to me that way. At any rate, I continued in this. He said, well, now, how many days a week did you drink? Of course, me, I still got a little smartness in me. I said about 8 days. He said, good, I want you to meet in 8 days a week. And that's what I did. There wasn't too many daytime meetings at that time. They had a lot of speaker meetings, though. And really, those speaker meetings would help me to stay in this outfit because I continued to hear how other people did it. Sometimes I hear the same speaker twice in 1 week. Don't have too many speaker meetings now. They got too many during discussion meetings. And we done discussed everything we can discuss. Get into the book. And we got a lot of those too. Things changed a little bit, but the big book hadn't. I came in also and they gave me a set of tapes with Joe and Charlie. And since they told me I couldn't see too well, they said, can you hear? So I had the big book, the 12 and 12, and Joe and Charlie all on tape. And then I would go home and listen to them, and Jesse would call me. All right, boy, what you know? I say nothing. He say good, and hang up the phone. Why I stayed in this outfit, God only knows. You understand me? So I managed to make it my first year. I think I can graduate now, and you know what I'm saying. And Jesse, I had a talk with Jesse. Jesse said, well now, if you decide to go back out, what you going back to? You came in here with nothing, and you want to go back to nothing? That makes sense. And he was right. He was right. What am I going back to? AA will refund your misery if that's what you want. I'll let you drink your food self to death. I have been a lot of different places since I've been in this outfit, all because of Alcoholics Anonymous. And there's certain things I don't do. And one of them is do jail. I had a bad experience with that. Here I am, had to get somebody to carry me down to the jailhouse, to get somebody to get them out. And then when they get out, they ain't got nowhere to go. So you got to take them home with you. And then you got to call them same police to come and get him out your house. I have helped a lot of people that have lived with me, and I tried to help them, and so forth and so on. If you want what we have, do as we do. I don't have time to play with you. They didn't play with me. I don't have time to play with you. I mean, you get people, I said, now y'all need, when I start sponsoring people, I said, y'all need to call me before 8 o'clock at night. After 8 o'clock at night, I ain't answering. That's when drunks get high, sure enough, and then they'll call y'all between 8 o'clock that night and 8 o'clock the next morning. Had an individual to call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Freddie, yeah. I don't know why I answered the phone. He said, I need to ask you a question. I said, what's that? He said, I want to know why the women in AA don't like me. I said, guess what? He said, what, Mr. Freddie? I don't either. Click up. I don't have time to fool with you. You know. I'll be in Raleigh or be in Durham or be someplace and some fool be way across on the other side of the mall. Mr. Freddie, you still going to them meetings? Yeah, I wish you were. Alcoholics Anonymous have given me a life that I had always wanted all along. You know. And my quality of life has gotten much better. I've been through a lot of adversities in Alcoholics Anonymous, but I didn't drink over. Some days I chased the bear, some days the bear chased me. That's just the way it is. And I continue to do the 12 steps of recovery on a daily basis. I don't have to think about them no more. It look like they just pop in my head. Because why? I live the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's not my whole life. It's a way of life. I still like to do a little insane things every once in a while. God, I'll take care of this. I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to keep y'all here past my time. Because I hate when I go to speaker meetings and they hold me hostage. And anybody who's talking should be able to recognize that. Because the men get to digging in their pockets, shaking their change. And the women get to squirming in the seats and everything. You know, you done lost me there. If you're going to tell me what you want to tell me in 45 minutes to 50 minutes, then I'm through with you. Just tell what it was like, what happened, how it is now, and shut up. I went to they asked me to speak in a convention down in Columbus, Georgia. And for those of y'all that might need to know this, there are 3 things you need to learn to accept the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. The first one is, now listen to me real well. The first one is, every time I was drunk, I was drinking. I never knew that. The second thing is, you can't stop drinking. Huh? Well, I think I just had one, but you trying to quit. And I'm going to close with this. And I'd like to thank Wallace for having me down here, and I really would like to thank Denise. Denise came all the way from Greenville to Raleigh to down to Southern Pines, taking this old drunk around. And I appreciate it. The last thing I'm going to say is this, and I close it every time. If you don't take a drink, you won't get drunk. Thank you.